Welcome aboard, everyone. It is so wonderful to have you here with me today. If you are new to the channel, come on in and make yourself comfortable. I am Ella. I have been a flight attendant for over 12 years, flying coast to coast across the United States and to destinations around the world. I have handed out more pretzels and ginger ales than I can count. I have calmed nervous flyers during bumpy descents. And I have watched the TSA checkpoint evolve in ways that would have seemed like science fiction just a decade ago. Because I spend so much of my life walking through airports, I see the changes before most passengers do. I watch the new machines roll in. I notice when the signage changes. And most importantly, I pay attention to how these changes affect my favorite passengers, the ones who have been flying since before there were even security checkpoints, my senior travelers. Today, I want to sit down with you and walk through 9 TSA changes that have arrived or are arriving in 2026. Some of these are going to make your life easier. A few might catch you off guard if you are not prepared. Either way, I want you to walk into that airport knowing exactly what to expect, because nothing ruins the start of a vacation faster than confusion at security. So grab a cup of tea, maybe get a notepad, and let's go through these together. Change number 1. This is the big one, and if you have not heard about it by now, please listen carefully. The Real ID requirement is now fully enforced. Starting May 7, 2025, the TSA began requiring Real ID compliant identification for all domestic flights. Your standard driver's license, the one without the star in the upper corner, is no longer accepted for air travel. You need either a Real ID, which has that small star marking, or an acceptable alternative like a valid U.S. passport. Here is where it gets important for 2026. Beginning February 1st, 2026, if you show up at the airport without a Real ID or acceptable alternative, the TSA will charge you a $45 fee to verify your identity through a new system called TSA Confirm.ID. This process involves answering security questions and having your identity cross-checked through multiple databases. It works, but it takes time and it costs money. If your driver's license does not have that star, please visit your local DMV now. Bring proof of identity, proof of address, and your social security documentation. Do not wait until the week before your trip. DMV lines are long, and this is not something you want to rush. Change number 2. You can keep your shoes on. This one is going to make a lot of you very happy. In July 2025, the Department of Homeland Security officially ended the shoes-off policy for all travelers. That is right. Everyone can now keep their shoes on, not just TSA PreCheck members or those of us over 75. For years, passengers 75 and older have been allowed to leave their shoes and light jackets on during screening. That benefit still exists, but now it extends to everyone in most standard screening lanes. If the body scanner detects something, you may still be asked to remove your shoes for additional screening, but the default expectation has changed. I cannot tell you how many seniors I have seen struggle with this over the years, bending down to untie shoes, balancing on one foot, worrying about stepping on something unsanitary. Those days are largely behind us now. The TSA made this change because advanced imaging technology has improved enough to detect threats through footwear in most cases. My advice? Wear shoes that are easy to slip off just in case, but enjoy not having to stand barefoot on that cold floor. Change number 3. New CT scanners mean you might not have to unpack your bag. The TSA has been rolling out computed tomography scanners, the same technology used in hospitals, to airport checkpoints across the country. These machines create 3-dimensional images of your carry-on bag, which means TSA officers can rotate and examine the contents without needing you to remove laptops or liquids. At airports with these new CT scanners, you no longer need to pull out your quart-sized bag of toiletries or remove your laptop from your bag. Everything stays inside. The machine does the work. However, not every airport has this technology yet. The TSA has deployed these units to over 200 airports, but there are still lanes using older equipment. If you are in a lane without CT technology, you will still need to follow the traditional rules. My tip? Look at the signage before you load your bag onto the belt. If it says you can leave items inside, do it. If not, take your laptop and liquids out as usual. Change number 4. Facial recognition is expanding, but it is still voluntary. You may have noticed new machines at the ID check podium. These are called CAT-2 units, which stands for Credential Authentication Technology. The machine scans your ID and takes a live photo of your face to compare against the picture on your identification. This technology is expanding rapidly across airports in 2026. It speeds up the identity verification process significantly. However, and this is important, you can opt out. If you are not comfortable with facial recognition, simply tell the TSA officer that you would like to use an alternative screening method. They will verify your identity manually. No penalties, no extra screening, just a polite request. Change number 5. TSA PreCheck fees have increased, but there is a family discount. TSA PreCheck is now $78 for a 5-year membership, up from the previous price. For frequent travelers, it remains absolutely worth it. PreCheck members can keep their shoes, belts, and light jackets on. They do not have to remove laptops or liquids, and they typically experience wait times under 10 minutes. If you are traveling with grandchildren, the TSA has introduced a program called Families on the Fly. Family PreCheck lanes are now available at select airports, allowing families to move through security at their own pace without holding up the line behind them. Children 12 and under can accompany a PreCheck member through the expedited lane. For seniors who fly even a few times a year, I genuinely recommend PreCheck. The peace of mind is worth every penny. Change number 6. TSA Cares is available for those who need extra assistance. If you have a medical condition, use a mobility device, or simply need additional time and support getting through security, TSA Cares is here for you. This is not new, but I find that many travelers do not know about it. You can call the TSA Cares helpline at 8557-872-227 or email them at least 72 hours before your flight. They will coordinate with the airport to ensure you have the assistance you need. This includes help with wheelchairs, walkers, oxygen equipment, and anything else that requires special handling. For those with pacemakers, insulin pumps, or other implanted medical devices, you should always inform the TSA officer before going through the scanner. Carry your device identification card from your doctor. The metal detector will not damage your pacemaker, but knowing about it helps the officer choose the appropriate screening method. If you have an implantable defibrillator, you can request a hand search instead of the electronic wand, as the wand could potentially cause interference. When you arrive at the checkpoint, you can also ask for a passenger support specialist. These are trained TSA employees who can answer questions, provide guidance, and ensure you get through screening comfortably. Do not be afraid to ask. Change number 7. Lithium battery enforcement is stricter than ever. This rule has been around, but the enforcement in 2026 is serious. Lithium-ion batteries, including portable phone chargers, power banks, and spare batteries for cameras or hearing aids, must travel in your carry-on bag. They cannot go in checked luggage. Period. The reason is fire safety. Lithium batteries can overheat and pose a risk in the cargo hold where no one can intervene. In your carry-on, if something starts smoking, the cabin crew can handle it. Smart luggage with built-in batteries is allowed only if the battery is removable by hand. If your suitcase has a battery that requires tools to remove, the airline will not accept it. I have watched passengers forced to leave expensive luggage at the gate because they did not know this rule. Check your bags before you leave home. Make sure all power banks are in your carry-on. Change number 8. Mobile driver's licenses are now accepted at select airports. If your state offers a mobile driver's license, you may be able to use your phone as your ID at certain TSA checkpoints. The license is stored in your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet and displays only the necessary verification information. This is currently available at a limited number of airports, and not all states participate. But if you do have a mobile license, it can serve as a backup if your physical ID is lost or stolen. It is worth setting up before you travel, just in case. However, I still recommend carrying a physical, real ID or passport as your primary identification. Technology is wonderful until your phone battery dies. Change number 9. Powder screening has been enhanced. If you travel with protein powder, powdered medications, or large quantities of any powdered substance, be aware that containers over 12 ounces may require additional screening. The TSA has tightened procedures around powders due to security concerns. My advice? Keep powders in their original packaging whenever possible. If you travel with large quantities, consider packing them in checked luggage instead. This avoids delays and potential confiscation at the checkpoint. Now, let me give you a quick action checklist before your next flight. First, check your ID. Make sure you have a REAL ID with the star, or bring your passport. Second, arrive early. With new technology and changing procedures, give yourself extra time. I recommend at least 2 hours for domestic flights. Third, download the My TSA app. This official app shows current wait times at your airport and lets you search whether specific items are allowed in your bags. It is genuinely useful. Fourth, pack smart. Keep medications labeled and accessible. Put all batteries and chargers in your carry-on. Limit powders or pack them in checked bags. Fifth, ask for help if you need it. Call TSA Cares before your trip or request a passenger support specialist at the checkpoint. I know these changes can feel overwhelming. I know it seems like the rules shift every time you book a flight. But here is the truth. The TSA is working to make flying safer and, in many cases, faster. The new scanners, the facial recognition, the real ID enforcement. It is all designed to protect you while getting you to your gate with less hassle. Your job is simply to show up prepared. Know your ID situation. Know what is in your bag. And know that you can always ask questions. I want you to travel with confidence. I want you to enjoy the journey, not dread the checkpoint. Because the world is out there waiting for you, and a little preparation goes a long way. In my next video, I am going to cover the best tips for traveling with medications in 2026, including what has changed with liquid prescriptions and how to make sure your essential medications are never confiscated. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you found this helpful, please hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the next one. Safe travels, everyone. I will see you in the skies.